starting in 15 seconds for.
Where are you? I'm right here.
I would like to welcome you all to this first conference
that's
about investing in Poland.
Really? Okay.
It's called Pole Position Investing in Polish Regions. And I would like to welcome especially Fiona Hislop, Cabinet Secretary for Culture, Europe and External Affairs, His Excellency Witold Sobków, Polish Ambassador to the UK, and also His Excellency Robin Barnett, who is British Ambassador to the Republic of Poland, and of course Dariusz Adler, who is the Consul General of Poland in Edinburgh. I would like to welcome also everyone who is here, and I am so glad that you came. And this conference is organized by Polish Business Chamber in Scotland together with promotion section of the Polish Embassy in London. I'm so glad we are here, and without further ado, let me introduce or invite Fiona Hislop, the Cabinet Secretary.
Good morning, everyone. Now, Madonna fell last night. I can follow Madonna. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be here today to welcome you to this Pole Position Investing in Polish Regions Conference. I'd like to thank the Polish Business Chamber in Scotland, the Trade and Investment Promotion section of the Polish Embassy, and their partners for organising this event. And I'm delighted to stand alongside the Polish Ambassador, Mr. Witold Sobków, and the UK Ambassador to Poland, Mr. Robin Barnett, to open this conference today. And it is always a pleasure to be invited to talk about Scotland's links with Poland. It is a country with which I feel Scotland has a strong affiliation, and one which I believe we work particularly well with. We have close links with Poland in many areas, spanning education to energy to city partnerships, and we have especially strong historical and cultural connections. As Cabinet Secretary for Culture as well as Europe, I take particular interest in our cultural exchanges, of which there are many. Just last year, for example, we hosted a delegation of Polish experts to exchange lessons on using digital technology in culture. We joined with the Polish government in support of the Wojciech Memorial Project, and we welcomed talented young Polish musicians to perform in our Usher Hall. And it is exchanges such as these, I think, which help to build the trust, respect and friendships which are essential to founding good business relationships with a country, and which I believe provide Scotland and Poland with an excellent basis for doing business. Trade and investment links between Scotland and Poland have existed for many, many years. From as far back as the 15th century, Scots traders travelled to Poland, where many prospered and acquired great wealth. In the 17th century, contemporaries estimated that between 15,000 and 40,000 Scots were settled in Poland, mainly as merchants, peddlers and craftsmen. One such merchant, of course, was Robert Gordon, who was born in Aberdeen. He made his fortune as a merchant trader in Gdansk during the late 17th and early 18th centuries, and used his wealth to found Robert Gordon's Hospital, now Robert Gordon's University in Aberdeen. And of course, these successful trade links continue today. During my visit to Poland last year, I met with the CEO of an enterprise which was started by a Scottish investor. The company is called Polski Bus, an intercity express coach service which was started in Poland in 2011 by Brian Suter Investments, which I understand is represented here today. Polski Bus is a prime example of a successful Polish-Scottish collaboration. Between its launch in 2011 and May last year, when I met its CEO, the business had grown from an initial fleet of 18 vehicles to a fleet of over 100 coaches, serving 20 Polish cities and a number of international destinations, carrying more than 7 million passengers. PolskiBus.com has become one of Poland's biggest brands and created 700 new jobs. So it's fascinating to learn about its development, and it was a pleasure to use this real success story of a Polish company established using Scottish capital and expertise. And I believe you will hear more about this company in one of this afternoon's sessions. I also, when I was in Poland, met with representatives of Top Gun Lasers, a company based in Warsaw, which had been working with partners in Scotland for 3 years. The company was working well with SME partners in Scotland to expand their business, and was proof again of the benefit of the Polish-Scottish collaboration. So, in my opinion, and the Scottish Government's opinion, that there are sizable opportunities to build on and deepen our business links. And I hope that this event will go some way to developing them further. I'd like to thank the organisers once again for arranging the conference. I very much look forward to seeing its output. And I'd like to give you an understanding of my personal commitment and the Scottish Government's commitment to make sure that the connections and the networks and the relationships and the ventures that we can possibly put together and the opportunities are fully realised as we go ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Cabinet Secretary, for your speech. Now we'll listen to the speech by His Excellency Witold Sobków, the Ambassador of the Republic of Poland in the United Kingdom.
Thank you very much. Minister, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to be here with you at the opening of this conference. Its main aim is to present Poland and its regions as interesting, attractive and reliable business partners. It's also, as you will see, a great place to invest. I'm delighted that the Embassy of the Republic of Poland, its Trade and Investment Promotion Section and our Consulate General in Edinburgh could support today's event. When the idea of this event was first discussed, we immediately decided to pair with the Polish Business Chamber in Scotland. After all, we haven't had a business promotion event in Scotland for quite a long time. During today's event, you will have an opportunity to broaden your knowledge of what Poland's economy has to offer, to listen to successful Scottish companies operating in Poland, to get to know more about Polish regions and special economic zones, and perhaps even to meet new potential business partners. The way Poland is perceived globally has changed considerably in the last few years. Firstly, because the country enjoys an uncommon and very attractive economic stability. Secondly, because of a unique Polish feature, our extraordinary human capital. The recent economic crisis has enabled Poles to demonstrate their common sense and optimism. Stable and dynamic economic growth, sensible business decisions, and wise management of public finances, and all of those have become key ingredients of Poland's success. The last 10 years have shown that joining European structures does not automatically translate into better economic performance and an improved standard of living of a given country. EU membership presents itself as an opportunity, not as a guarantee of development. Whether a country can fully capitalize on this opportunity depends on how it decides to conduct its economic policy. I take great pleasure in seeing so much entrepreneurial spirit among Polish citizens. It is, in my opinion, in large part the reason behind Poland's economic success, in particular since our joining of the EU on the 1st of May 2004. According to the IMF, in 2003, Poland's GDP per capita stood at less than $12,000, whereas last year it is estimated to have reached $22,000, nearly doubling in a span of just over 10 years. Polish exports as a share of our GDP rose by 50%, nearly tripling in absolute terms, reflecting the strong economic position that Poland has been building within the community of European nations. In 2009, Poland was the only country in the EU to have avoided recession. In 2008 and until 2013, Poland's total GDP increased by over 20%. It was by far the best performance in the European Union. Our pace of growth made Poland reach 2/3 of the EU's average level of economic development. In 2003, Poland's GDP per capita and purchasing power standards amounted to 48.8% of the average of the 27 EU member states, while in 2012, it already amounted to 66.9%, an increase by 18.1 percentage points. With regards to investments, in 2012, cumulative foreign investments in Poland were worth an estimated 178 billion euro, almost quadrupling since 2003. During the 10 years of the EU membership, Poland created 2 million jobs. The numbers mentioned above, of course, constitute a very rudimentary take on what has happened over the past 11 years. Nevertheless, it gives us an idea of the magnitude of change that we can expect to take place in Poland in future. The 2004 EU enlargement brought benefits not only to Poland and the other Central European countries, but also had a positive impact on most of the 15 economies of the EU. The biggest winners were, of course, those who increased trade with our region and opened up their labour markets to the new members sooner rather than later. The United Kingdom stands prominent among those countries. Nowadays, the UK is Poland's second largest trading partner globally. Since 2005, Poland has risen as many as 13 positions in the ranking of the largest importers of British goods. In turn, the value of Polish exports to the UK has increased almost threefold in the past 9 years, exceeding 10 billion euro in 2014. Polish entrepreneurs have rapidly established themselves across the UK in the 10 years since Poland joined the EU. According to the Centre of Entrepreneurs, Poles rank 6th among of all nationalities who have set up businesses in the UK. More than 21,000 Poles have set up nearly 22,000 companies in the UK, creating simultaneously additional employment opportunities, while further 65,000 Poles are self-employed. I'm sure you can also easily find them in Scotland. They have demonstrated their entrepreneurial potential and adaptability to new conditions. Today, Polish entrepreneurs have an increasing impact on both the British economy and the British state institutions. The British business community recognizes more and more how many direct benefits it can gain from business relationships with Polish enterprises in the UK. Successful Polish companies try to meet the needs not only of the Polish diaspora in the UK, but also those of the British people, thus increasing their chances of market success. However, I strongly believe that no matter how positive the story of Polish-British, Polish-Scottish economic relations has been in the past 11 years, there is still a lot of room for improvement. I also believe that this is a fantastic time and place to spark debates about the possibilities for Scottish companies to make the most of new business opportunities existing in a stable and fast-growing Poland. I would like to thank the representatives of the Scottish Government and His Excellency Mr. Robin Barnett, Her Majesty's Ambassador in Warsaw, for their support, as well as our guests from Poland, who decided to travel to Edinburgh in order to present business opportunities in the regions. We are very grateful to Scotland for your hospitality and for making lives of Poles who have settled down here, who wanted to build a second home in Scotland in such a hospitable way. So thank you, Scotland, for all you have done to Polish citizens. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all an interesting and informative and constructive day. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Yesterday, I had a privilege of meeting His Excellency Robin Barnett, and I was surprised to learn that he is fluent in Polish. So we could talk, we could joke, which takes another kind of skills. And I also learned that he's an inventor. He invented Jurek soup with salmon fish. Without further ado, His Excellency Robbie Barnett.
Minister, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Szanowni Państwo, dla ludzi z Polski, witam bardzo serdecznie I dzień dobry. I am delighted to speak at this conference today. It's a country, Poland, that I have spent many years in, and I'm proud to say I'm one of the few people who visited all the old 49 regions of Poland and all the 16 new voivodeships, so I know something about the Polish regions. I think the previous speakers have focused on most pieces of history, so I will just add one more good Scottish link, and that is Alexander Chalmers. He was a Scot who became Mayor of Warsaw no fewer than 4 times at the turn of the 17th and 18th centuries. But moving on a few centuries, since its accession to the EU in 2004, Poland has undergone rapid modernisation and transformation. The progress has been truly impressive, and in business terms, Poland is now a key business partner for the UK, and we are Poland's second largest trading partner globally. Many UK companies and Scottish companies like Tesco's, RSK, Rolls-Royce, Aviva, Baxter's and Polski Bus have successfully set up operations in Poland. They have been contributing to the growth of both the British and Polish economies, and increasingly and impressively are moving up the value chain in terms of both goods and services. The Minister spoke eloquently about Polski Bus. I will just add, I'm a humble customer. The energy field is important. Most recently, AMEC became owner's engineer for the Polish civil nuclear project, and through innovation and the transfer of know-how will help Poland deliver a top priority, that is to say, developing energy security through diversification. Scotland is well known for oil and gas, and that is very much going to be a key part of diversification for Poland and the Central European region in future, so I see important opportunities there. More generally, I think there is room for an enhanced two-way trade and investment partnership that can deliver a step change in our economic relationship with the help of mutually beneficial collaboration between our companies. We're very keen to see more Scottish companies exploiting the opportunities available, following the footsteps of people like Doosan Babcock, whose European HQ is in Edinburgh and which has a successful energy subsidiary in Poland. Our UKTI team in Warsaw, which operates as part of a regional network of 9 countries, has identified 6 strategic sectors, including energy, railways, security and defence, healthcare and life sciences, financial and professional services, and advanced manufacturing, many of which are definitely assets for Scotland. And in all of these sectors, we see fantastic opportunities for cooperation and partnerships between businesses. These are sectors where Scottish companies have a lot to contribute. A good example from the security sector is Indigo Vision, also with its headquarters here in Edinburgh, which is a leading manufacturer of complete IP video security solutions, which has built links with a local partner in Poland, Miwi Omed, based in Łódź. We are absolutely focused on supporting UK companies and Scottish companies interested in strategic high-value projects and in innovative partnerships in key sectors. One example is the railway sector, where we have created a British-Polish rail group and helped pave the way for our companies to help speed up the modernisation of Poland's railways. However, speaking frankly, the British presence in Poland is still limited compared to the economic potential. We are keen to change that, working with our partners, including the Polish embassy here in the UK. We have an impressive offer for helping companies wishing to do business in Poland, including the British-Polish Business Centre in Warsaw, which helps small and medium-sized companies like Fort Glen Whisky here in Scotland, not least in finding local partners and distributors for their products in the Polish market. The centre also helps Polish businesses find UK partners. Historically, as this conference shows, the focus has been on inward investment to Poland, and there are real opportunities there. But part of the Polish success story is that more and more Polish companies are now looking to expand their reach by setting up operations in the UK, not least in the area of research and development. To help them, we've appointed an accredited partner, A.T. Kearney, to help Polish companies who want to set up in the UK. The UK market is one of the most attractive markets for investors globally, and many Polish companies rightly perceive it as a springboard for their further international growth in third markets. All of our activities are underpinned by the Innovation is Great campaign, which we launched last year, the UK government's largest ever promotional campaign, which showcases what the UK has on offer. As part of that campaign, we are bringing British and Polish companies together to link our innovative industries. For Poland, innovation and added value is a top priority. And when you look at the creativity that goes into the Edinburgh Festival alone, it is clear to me that culture and creative industries is an exciting area for Scottish-Polish partnerships. Another area with high potential for collaboration is the Horizon 2020 programme of the EU. I strongly believe there is scope for building strong partnerships, like the recent EU teaming collaboration between Cambridge and Warsaw universities, between academia and business, and between businesses in our countries, to jointly enhance our ability not only to be innovative, but also to commercialise our ideas. As Poland invests hugely in its infrastructure and continues to drive forward its shift from a low-wage, low-cost economic model to one based on innovation and R&D, I see there is huge potential for the UK, recently ranked second in the Global Innovation Index, to support Poland's future development. We are very keen to assist Poland through innovation partnerships through this crucial time in its economic development. We also look forward to helping many more Scottish businesses in future as we work with our Polish partners to promote business, growth and jobs in Poland and the UK. If I ask one thing of you today, it's to become ambassadors for promoting business links between Scotland and Poland. We do all we can based in Poland, but there are a finite number of us and an awful lot of businesses, so you can do a great deal to help. I wish you all a very productive conference. Thank you very much.
I would like to say that this conference wouldn't be possible without the help of the Consul General, so thank you very much. And as organizers, the Trade and Investment Promotion section of the Polish Embassy in London and Polish Business Chamber in Scotland, we would like to thank our partners, British Embassy in Warsaw, also Pangea Magazine and Polish Professional Forums, and the sponsor Santander. So thank you very much. And now let's move to another point in our program. We'll hear why Poland, why Poland, and it will be presented by Leszek Tomaszek.
Thank you very much, Minister, Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. It's a great pleasure to be here in Edinburgh today for the first time, as far as I remember, because this is the first such a conference for a very, very long time. And I would like to answer this question. After a couple of minutes, I would like to present the pros of investment in Poland, the investment opportunities, and answer the question, why Poland? Just for the beginning, a couple of basic informations. As you can see, we are in the really heart of Europe. Official name is, as Robert mentioned, the Republic of Poland, and the capital is Warsaw. We are quite a big country within the EU, more than 300,000 square kilometers, which places us as the sixth country, and with the population of 38.5 million, also the sixth place in the EU. The currency, which is very important, still is Polish zloty. It's about 5.5 pounds per 1 zloty, and 1 euro is 4.18. Those are current numbers. Political stability, ruling party is a civic platform, has been re-elected for a consecutive term, and this year we will have double election, the presidential one in May and the parliamentary election in the fall. High position in the corruption perceptions index, we are at the 38th place. I have to mention Hungary 47th, Czech Republic 57, Slovakia 61. We are members of EU, NATO, OECD, WTO, IMF, and also Schengen zone. Why Poland is a crisis-proof country? Because we are a large internal market, 38 million consumers. We have a healthy banking sector. Poland passed all the stress tests within the banking sector. Low share of derivatives in portfolio of Polish banks. And because Polish zloty is still not pegged to euro, we have low GDP from exports dependence, only 45%, and our neighbors Czech Republic 73%, Slovakia 94%. And we have low inflation rate, currently is around 0%. Very important factor, highways in Poland, and very sensitive issue for a long time. Now, as you can see, we have the green lines, existing highways, the red ones are planned. And as you can see, we have quite developed highway system in Poland, which is very important for the investors who would like to transfer their products outside Poland. And another very important factor, even more important sometimes than highways, airport infrastructure. If you are a Scottish investor and would like to visit Poland very quickly, you can easily find a flight from Glasgow to almost each of those airfields described at this slide. The biggest airport is Warsaw, then Kraków, then Rzeszów, but we have almost all around Poland, except the northeastern parts. We have, as you can see, a lot of airports with European flights, with domestic flights. As you can see, for example, from London, you can go to Warsaw, Gdańsk, Wrocław, Kraków, Rzeszów, Szczecin, Bydgoszcz, and so on. So you can reach all of Polish cities. Polish FDI, as you can see, is quite strong and it's growing. Financial services, manufacturing, trade and repair, business services, and others. Those are FDIs in sectors. International recognition of our country. UNCTAD, according to UNCTAD, 14th place as the most attractive FDI destination. Second most attractive country for FDI in the next 3 years, that's Ernst & Young's opinion. Third place worldwide as the best quality location for manufacturing projects, Financial Times. Second location in Eastern Europe and Russia, offering the great revenue opportunities over the next 3 years, Deloitte. Poland's classified as a mature outsourcing location, that's Everest Group. Third best location in the world after India and China, outsourcing businesses in financial accounting and advisory, and sixth around top 10 destination countries in Europe. According to the World Bank Group report, the report Doing Business 2015, as you can see at the right side of this slide, 2012, Polish place 74, 2013, 56, 2014, 45, and now 2015, 32. So we are going down, but going down is better than going up in this case. Doing business in Central and Eastern European countries. Also, we are going up this time from 74th place in 2012, 2014, 46th place. As this report mentioned, every region has a leading champion in the scope of improvements made since 2005. Whether Poland for OECD high income economies, China for East Asia, and Pacific or Colombia for Latin America and the Caribbean. A shortly demographic structure, population of Central and Eastern European countries, you can see easily that we have the biggest population, 38%. 59% of population is younger than 49 years old. This is very important for potential business partners. We have a really big number of young, well-educated Poles who would like to work with you. More than 11 million Poles are less than 25 years old. And the number of students over or around 2 million, which places us at the top of the students all over Europe. A number of students, okay, just mentioned. 10% of EU students come from Poland. Italy and Spain, having larger population than Poland, educate fewer students. That's our big advantage, I suppose. Best countries for doing business. Factors taken into consideration: degree of economic integration, cost of setting up businesses, cost of labor and materials, cost of moving goods, less tangible costs, readiness of the local consumer base. Hong Kong the first, Canada the second, United States third place. We are on the 26th place, which is not bad. In fact, that's the second tenth or the third tenth. Not bad, not bad. World Investment Prospect Survey, the last one. According to the survey, main advantages of Poland: stable economic situation, market growth, size of internal market, very important factor. Access to regional markets, that's also very important. Cooperation with suppliers, system of investment incentives. And according to this survey, Poland ranked 13th top prospective host economy in the world for 2014 and 2016. Poland is a leader of growth in Europe. Another report, Ernst & Young, EY, according to this report, first place in the CE region, the most attractive country to establish operations. First place in terms of number of the investment projects in the Central Eastern European region. Third place in the whole Europe in terms of created jobs due to FDI. Only the UK and Russia were better. Second place in Europe in terms of jobs created per one project. Investment attractiveness of the Central Eastern European region, as you can see in scale from 1 to 6. The sixth one is very attractive. excuse me, we have 4.1, 4.2 in this scale, and we are at the first place. Positive investment factors in our country. Labor costs, availability and quality of suppliers, quality of higher education, productivity and motivation of the employees, very, very important issue. If you have the big motivation, then you will do very good business. Workforce skills, very important factor also, and of course EU membership. Some kind of question for the investors. Would you take the same decision once again? Hungary, only 75%. Romania, 83%. Slovakia, 84%. Czech Republic, 88%. Lithuania, 90%. Estonia, 94%. And Poland, of course, 94%. But as you can see on the right side of the slide, who wouldn't like to invest again? Only 6% said no. So that's a big number, or small number. Top 100 outsourcing destinations, as we are talking about cities. 10th place Kraków, 36th Warsaw, 75th Wrocław. Also not bad. Best emerging markets, according to economic factors, 40% weight, financial 40% weight, political, social 20% weight. 9th place with the score 53.24%. The most innovative economies global in 2014. Factors, R&D intensity, productivity, high-tech density, researcher concentration, manufacturing capability, tertiary efficiency, patent activity. 23rd place, I think that we are ahead of many countries. And the global competitiveness, according to the Global Competitiveness Report, the last one from 2012-2013, Poland 41 in the middle of the report. As the leader of growth in Europe, first place in the CE region, the most competitive country in the region, first place in the CE in terms of number of investment projects, third place in the whole Europe in terms of more than 13,000 jobs created, third place in Europe. Potential business locations. This is a very nice picture of the center of Warsaw in the middle of the night. But this is not the only one place for investments. We have here in this room regions from Poland, and they will tell you something more about the potential investment in their cities. But I will just briefly show you the regions and the cities around Poland where you can easily find a very, very good partner for investment or for business. Services and manufacturing hubs in Poland. We have very strong automotive sector with the presence of well-known global businesses like Toyota, like Volvo, Opel, Volkswagen. Those blue color describes in which region of Poland those businesses are located. Household appliances, also well-known brands, Philips, Electrolux, LG. Also we have some investors from the electronics sector. Aerospace, a very strong sector in Poland. many global firms are present there. We have here there is Aviation Valley, which is a conglomerate of more than 100 of businesses strong from the aerospace sector, strong businesses from the aerospace sector. BSS, excuse me. Also HP, Sony, Fujitsu, IBM, UPS, Unicredit, main global players present in Poland. R&D, also some well-known brands. Finance and accounting centers, you can easily read those titles, and around Poland, around Polish, in Polish cities, there are plenty of businesses present. SCR in Poland, 40% of our investments in 2007, which is very important. As you can see, the list is very long, and they are present all over Poland. ITO and SSC in IT in Poland. There's also a very strong presence in every main city. Manufacturing and manufacturing R&D centers. A lot of international businesses settled in Poland and have their R&D centers, which means that we are really good in R&D. Those are main. We've divided our cities into 3 tiers according to the various factors important for investment. First tier is of course Warsaw, Kraków and Wrocław, with the highest population in Poland, with quite a big number of students, number of graduates, number of higher education institutions, and of course the lowest unemployment. What are the problems, the pros of those cities? Biggest academic centers, best accessibility by air or by railway, and similar wages, deepest HR pool, top-class infrastructure, best quality of life. There are of course cons, because there is a very high saturation of foreign companies, high wages in Poland, high cost of living, unfortunately, high cost of office space rents, intense competition. But those are the first 3 best locations in Poland. Availability of suitable locations, tier 2. Poznań, Łódź, Tri-City, Szczecin, Katowice. Tri-City means Gdańsk, Gdynia, Sopot. Also a lot of good possibilities for investment there. Tier 3 or tier 3, Opole, Bydgoszcz, Toruń, Lublin, Rzeszów, Olsztyn. They are growing. They are preparing a lot of very modern facilities there. The pros of those cities are that they are smaller, underrated academic centers, access to well-educated labor pool, very low saturation of FDI, lower wages and cost of living comparing to tiers 1st and 2nd, and good or very good quality of life. Cons, lower availability of university faculties, moderate limited access to experienced staff, lack of office space, but that's improving, and poor accessibility, that's improving also because of the before mentioned highway systems. And newcomers, Białystok, very rapidly growing city, Częstochowa and Kielce. Pros and cons are more or less the same like in tier number 3. So those are possible locations for your business, for the investment, and later on regions will tell you more about this. And very important factor, or very important thing, special economic zones, which are located all over Poland. There are 14 of them, plus subzones. And what does it mean, special economic zone? This is a specially dedicated area where investors receive special benefits, and they are quite interesting and quite high. Special economic zones will operate at least until 2026, so still we have more than 11 years for the operation of CEZ. Permits to conduct activities in CEZ are issued by the authorities of each economic zone. Minimum investment, you have to invest 100,000 euro. What are benefits from obtaining a permit to conduct activities in CEZ? First of all, eligibility for income tax exemption, plot of land prepared for an investment project available at a competitive price, free assistance in dealing with formalities relating to the investment projects. And the results of special economic zones, in Polish zlotys, more than 83 billion of the investment expenditures. 82% of investment expenditures were incurred by foreign companies. More than 186,000 new jobs have been created in special economic zones. And every workplace in special economic zone generates 0.75 of workplace outside the special economic zone. Zones are located in 146 cities and 210 communes. And the last slide, which is very important, European funds for Poland. More than 80 billion, in fact, euros in the new financial perspective 2014-2020. This is one of the most important factors for potential investors in Poland. You can easily grab the money or some amount of this money if you are wise and clever, and if you like to invest in our country. And I think that now you know why Poland. Thank you very much for your attention.
Now we are wiser, so thank you very much, appreciate it. And now we'll listen to Jerzy Bartosik, Minister Chancellor, who is from the Trade and Investment Promotion section of Polish Embassy. And his talk will be about Poland today, business opportunities for Scotland. But in the presence of the British ambassador, I should say, opportunities for the United Kingdom.
Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. After such an extensive and very informative presentation of my colleague, I would like only to supplement this information by showing additional business opportunities in Poland resulting from the fact that Poland remains the largest beneficiary of the EU structural funds in the new financial perspective for the years 2014-2020. Poland was one of the first countries to sign the cooperation agreement with the European Commission for the new financial perspective. It means that the Polish proposals have been very well prepared, rational and justified. 82.5 billion euros will be allocated for Poland from the EU structural funds from now to 2020. This budget will be implemented by 5 national programs, one of a regional program for Eastern Europe, for Eastern Poland, sorry, and 16 regional programs each for each Polish region. To make this long story short, 82.5 billion euros to be spent means hundreds of projects and hundreds, a lot of chances to take part in their implementation, depending of course on individual experience and expertise of your company. But this situation represents a huge opportunity to Scottish, British companies to take part in many projects, large and small, in areas, for example, such as R&D, ICT or infrastructure. I've gathered some information how different companies from different countries performed in Poland in the last financial perspective. And it shows that the performance of UK companies in benefiting from EU-funded projects in the last financial perspective was poor. For every euro, the Austrian taxpayer put into Poland via EU funds, Austrian companies won back 97 cents in tenders won in EU projects. In case of German companies, it was 64 cents in tenders. Danish firms, they managed to acquire 43 cents. And what's the situation of the companies from the UK? The UK companies won 13 pennies worth of each project work for every pound spent via the European Union. So there is a lot of scope, there is a right time to be more active and to improve this situation. Now I would like to give you a quick presentation of EU structural funds in Poland and their implementation. Just to remind you, cohesion policy of the European Union for the years 2014-2020. The aim of cohesion policy is to strengthen the economic, social and territorial cohesion of the European Union. More than 350 billion euros will be available for investment policy supporting Europe 2020 goals such as growth, jobs, quality of life and sustainable development. As it was said before, out of this amount, 82.5 billion euro will be implemented in Poland. I said it already, in the programming period for the years 2014-2020, Poland will manage 5 plus 1 national operational programs and 16 regional programs, one for each region in Poland. And now I would like to show you in this table how Polish operational programs correspond with objectives set up by the European Union. You can see the objective 1, which is research, development and innovation, and it is managed by the EU as a Horizon 2020 program. In Poland, this translates to operational program Smart Growth. Objective 3, which is competitiveness of small and medium-sized enterprises, COSME. In Poland, this is operational program Digital Poland. This includes supporting SMEs development and competitiveness. Objectives 4, 5, 6, supporting shift to a low carbon and generally environment protection. This is LIFE program in the European Union and translates in Poland for operational program infrastructure and environment. And objective number 7, which is sustainable transport and network infrastructure in Europe, connecting Europe facility, and in Poland this will be done by implementing 16 regional operational programs in the provinces. The objective 9, promoting social inclusion and combating poverty, European Union, social change and innovation. And the operational program is 10. In Poland, which is mainly aimed at improving quality of life and to make it a better place for investment. And the objective 10, which is education, skills and lifelong learning, Erasmus in Europe, and operational program knowledge, education and development in Poland. This diagram shows how Polish operational programs look like in terms of funds allocated. By far, the regional operational programs, 16 of them, are the biggest amount. As a matter of fact, it's not 28, but it's 31 billion in recently approved programs. Then number 2 is operational program infrastructure and environment. I think this is the program where Scottish, British companies can try to find their chances for a new business in Poland easily. Then come on the diagram, it is called intelligent development, but as a matter of fact, finally it was named smart growth operational program. And some other of them, they will be shown on the map of Poland later on. And this diagram shows how European funds have been divided between Polish provinces, Polish regions. I have a map of Poland here, so it's more interesting to show on the map. The biggest allocation for województwo śląskie in Poland, which is more than 3.5 billion. Then it comes Małopolskie, Wielkopolskie and Dolnośląskie. Fortunately, we have here the representatives from Małopolskie, from Podkarpackie, Lubelskie, so they will tell us in more detail about how much money will be allocated in the regions and how they are going to use them. This map shows the regional aid which was accepted, and historically it shows how it was in the last financial perspective. This percentage shows the maximum level of public aid accepted for the project implemented there. And the next map, which is accepted for the new financial perspective, shows new figures, as you can see, much lower than shown on the last map. This is because the growing GDP of Polish regions resulted in the reduction of the level of public aid available in this region. Mazowieckie, this is not this one, I'm sorry. Mazowieckie is a best developed region in Poland. That's why the level of public aid available there is the lowest. Just very shortly about operational programs. First of them, infrastructure and environment. This program will support energy efficiency and low carbon economy, environmental protection and adaptation to climate change, transport, energy security, health and cultural heritage. This is after the original program. This is the highest value of funds allocated in this operational structure, and as I said, perhaps one of the programs where the companies from Scotland and the UK could fund new business opportunities. The operational program Smart Growth. It will aim to increase Poland's innovation and competitiveness by supporting private sector research and development. Basically, it is about R&D project and their commercialization. As Mr. Ambassador said before, the UK is ranked very high in this category, and I think this operational program opens new opportunities for innovative companies from Scotland and from the UK. The total value of money allocated for this program is more than 10 billion euros. The next operational program, Knowledge, Education and Development. The total amount available for that program is more than 4 billion euros. There is also some special budget line for employment initiatives for young people. And it is created in response to needs for reforms in the areas of education, employment, social inclusion, health and good governance. Depending on the individual experience and expertise of companies, I think that this could be also the area where some new opportunities for business exist for companies from the UK. And this is also the case of the operational program Digital Poland, which is dedicated to ICT projects, broadband, building e-services. Basically, it is ICT program. It aims to foster internet development in Poland. It's intended for administration offices, their units, as well as telecommunication operators. But at the same time, the fund will be provided to all entrepreneurs for building, development, and upgrade their internet infrastructure. More than 2 billion euros are available in this operational program. Some funds are also intended for media campaigns here in order to raise awareness of digital technologies. I think British, Scottish companies also quite experienced in media campaigns, and perhaps this is also the chance to try to find a new business opportunity. Over-regional program, as I named it, this is operational program Eastern Poland. This will focus on increasing the competitiveness of the macro region, which includes 5 regions in Eastern Poland. This is Warmińsko, Mazurskie, Podlaskie, Lubelskie, Podkarpackie, and Świętokrzyskie. As I said, we managed to have the representatives from Voivodeship Podkarpackie and Lubelskie, so there will be a chance to discuss in more detail how they are going to implement operational program Eastern Poland in their regions. Basically, it is aimed at making these regions more attractive place to live and invest. There are a lot of young, very well-educated people there. For whom it's difficult to find a place there. Very often they tend to migrate from these regions. It's better to develop the province and to keep them there. I'm not going to elaborate. There will be a chance that the representatives in the region will speak more on this subject. And the last operational programs, technical assistance, it's very technical, of course. It's meant to ensure the smooth implementation of projects co-financed by EU funds in Poland. A quite substantial figure, 550 million euro. This is the program of horizontal nature. I think that companies from Scotland, from the UK, possess quite wide knowledge about how to assist and support management, monitoring, evaluation of such a program. So why not to try? And finally, we have come to 16 regional operational programs. The programs will finance a series of activities that are complementary to the investment envisaged by 6 national programs. Basically, these are about promotion of entrepreneurship, education, employment, social inclusion, ICT, infrastructure, environment, energy, and transport. And the total value is more than 30 billion euros. I will also leave this subject to our guests from Poland. In order to give you some practical advice how you may expect when trying to get some new orders in Poland. I know that in the program of our conference there is a special topic, presentation of the legal aspects of doing business in Poland. So this is also no point of elaborating on this here now. But I would like to mention some remarks regarding public procurement legislation in Poland and some additional advice. Basically, Polish procurement legislation is a part of the EU law, and it should be very standard and similar to that you know. But there are different opinions. I mentioned three of them here. There are opinions by foreign investors or foreign companies dealing in Poland that the Polish procurement legislation is overregulated and very formal. Perhaps this is true, of course. There are almost 300 sections in the statute, and there are many secondary legislation and different judicial opinions and official interpretation, but I would say in every country you will find specific solutions to this. The problem is to get to know that there is such a situation there, and to get acquainted and to prepare to it. The legislation focuses on avoiding an risk for a rewarding entity, as the opinion of foreign company. All right, I think that in every country, a rewarding entity tries to protect themselves, and this is up to the contract stipulation. You have to negotiate everything. It's better to have it in writing. Don't leave things open for the future negotiation. If you have it in the contract, you'll get it. So this is the advice. The Polish practice may be slightly different from public procurement, you know. It is different because, for example, almost all documents and tenders are issued and submitted in Polish. So this is not a problem today, I believe, but your English tender will not be accepted. So it's better to know. Luckily, sworn translations are not required, so it should be just in Polish. There are some specific documents that may be asked during the tender procedure. One of them is certificate from the National Criminal Register in terms of the company's behavior, not the individual. We know it from our practice, from the practice of our office. And it is not easy to define, to answer which kind of documents you should present. Perhaps one from the Disclosure Scotland, but we tried to discuss it with the lawyer, and it's really not evident what to do. Finally, we came to the conclusion that the declaration by the management of the company before a notary public is a document which should be accepted in Poland in this case. During the procedure of awarding tenders in Poland, you can meet a lot of challenges and disputes made by competitors between themselves, or challenges to the decision of awarding authority. It could be because the competition is strong, money is big. Fortunately, we have a national appeal chamber which acts very quickly. There is a fast track, 11 days for hearing and 16 for decision making, and the costs involved are not very high, so it works. The last advice, or provisions from the contract, make it in writing. All right, authorities can be reluctant in amending the contract, but if you have this provision in writing in the contract, and in the future you can renegotiate some conditions, you have the right to do it. And the final advice, don't underestimate this formal aspect. Try to be prepared in advance. I mean, there are different ways of getting to know about the tender without waiting for the tender notice. So it's better to try to have this information before, take local advice or advice of a British legal company who have got already an experience with dealing in Poland. In case of British or Scottish companies, of course, UKTI offices in Warsaw, or British Polish Chamber of Commerce, I understand can be of great assistance and help in this case. So I recommend strongly to contact UKTI and BPCC in Warsaw as well. In the last slide, some contact directory. It is just made by the way of example, showing the main players, but of course hundreds of institutions being involved in implementation of European programs in Poland. The most important perhaps is the Ministry for Infrastructure and Development, which is in general responsible for regional funds. In Poland, Ministry for the Economy, Polish Agency for Enterprise Development, Ministry of Science and Higher Education, or Ministry for Administration and Digitization. European Fund Central Information Code, you find it, that such points are located all over Poland, but this is the central point where you can get some, or perhaps even detailed information on different projects in Poland. I also mentioned the website is showing Voivodeship Marshal offices. In terms of projects to be implemented during the new financial perspective, you have to note that the role of local authorities is very strong. It's much stronger than before, and this is also an advice: contact the local authorities. They know in detail what's available and how to do it. And I would like also to mention the network of COI, Regional Investors Assistance Center. We cooperate very closely with those offices. As a matter of fact, we are a foreign hand of these offices abroad. When supporting investors, of course, they have full knowledge about operational programs and regional program which are to be implemented in their area. Thank you very much for your attention, and wish you all the success in trying to get new contracts in Poland. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, a few years ago, I was very grateful that when he heard that I am from Poland, that he wanted to help Poland and Polish businesses. So he's very open, and I am so glad that he's here. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Kerr.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Robert, for the opportunity to speak today, especially in such exalted company. I will try to keep this fairly general because otherwise it could just get technical and very industry specific. But if I can try to give an overview of the legal implications. I think the first point to understand, Scotland is a small country, especially when you compare it to Poland. I recollect our government sought to promote it a few years ago as the best small country in the world. Well, if that was correct, or even if that was what the country aspired to, then trading abroad was required and still does require to be an integral part of the strategy for industry and commerce in this country. And the legal profession is effectively part of industry and commerce when looking at the countries as a whole. The conference is covering two distinct concepts. First, there is investing in foreign business by acquiring equity, either on a recognised investment exchange or by buying into a foreign-based business. But secondly, there is the transaction of business in a foreign country, and it is the latter that I want to try to concentrate on for a few minutes today. After I've spoken, you will hear much more interesting aspects about the regions, and then you can actually see what some of the opportunities are. Doing business in any foreign jurisdiction is slightly different from doing business in your own. Some of the issues are quite self-evident. And if you're to be successful, you need to come to terms with them and embrace them. Key differences include you face a different legal system from your own. This may be reflected in the substantive law or in the procedures or both. Do not assume two jurisdictions act similarly because they rarely do, and even then there will be important nuances. If you consider the EU and you have directives, every country interprets them, legislates them differently, and interprets them even more differently. You only need to look at France. There are cultural differences, and these impact on both the substantive law and the procedures. And there can be different approaches, and I suppose this is culture to an extent, to commerce and work practice, which need to be understood. But why Poland? I think a number of the questions, and certainly the statistics from this, have already been presented to you. But I would, from a business perspective, draw attention to a couple. The World Bank Group, as we heard earlier, reported Poland as 32nd in 2014 global ranking for the place of ease to do business. Probably of greater importance was that it was top-ranked economy among the new EU member states in Central Europe. This index is based on a study of laws and regulations. I think the earlier speaker drew attention to some of the economic factors, but I think if you're looking at the law and regulation aspect, as aspects of the report does, the factors which they've taken into account are issues starting up a business, dealing with construction permits, how are you going to start your factory, getting electricity, registering property, getting credit. And then on the more legal points, protecting investors, the extent of disclosure which is required, the extent of directors' liability, and the ease of shareholder actions, all of which are important for investors going into a country. The taxation system, and how complicated is it, and how fair is it? Trading across borders, both the documentation which you require and the time to import or export. Is it aimed at assisting trade or causing a problem? Enforcing contracts, the procedures, the time, the cost, and it varies significantly across Europe. And resolving insolvency, when a customer becomes insolvent, that can be a problem. And Poland comes out very well on that analysis. It's also one of the largest countries in Europe, 6th largest as we heard earlier. There's a variety of mineral resources from iron, zinc, copper and rock salt. It's bounded by 7 countries and has port access to the Baltic. It's a gateway, and this is important, it is a gateway to Central and Eastern Europe. There's a population of over 38 million. And as well as heavy industry, you've got leisure and tourism and agriculture. Another key factor is the fact that there are over, that of the workforce, a much higher percentage than normal is of the normal working age. This means that there is a labour force there for companies that do want to move into that jurisdiction. We've also heard that it's a stable economy and one which is accustomed to EU member country investment. For companies wanting to go into Poland, there is likely to be UK government support, there's likely to be Scottish government support, and as we eloquently heard, there is also the opportunity to grab some of the EU funding that is available. There are areas which are clearly, or sectors where investment is more likely to work than others. The automotive industry, pharmaceuticals, machinery, aviation, and also financial services and energy. But it's a big country, so these are main sectors. There's plenty of others. More technically speaking, as I understand it, it's not necessary to register a new business entity in Poland. You can establish a branch or representative office. A branch needs to be registered in the National Entrepreneurs Register, but as such a registration is not needed if you just go for a representative office, but you do have to register with the Minister of Economics in Warsaw. What you can do through a representative office is much more restricted. and you will be subject to Polish accounting rules. I don't know the intricacies, but I suspect that it will not be significantly different from what you have to face in the UK or elsewhere in Europe. Unless you're aimed to trade solely online, and even if you do, my strong advice is if you were thinking of investing or trading in Poland, that you take the time to visit the country, speak to people, understand how the particular industry works in that country. There is a lot of desktop analysis available. We've heard some of it today. So you can have a fair idea of what you think the market is going to be like. But there is no substitute for going and speaking and seeing how it might work in practice. For that, you probably, unless, like His Excellency, you speak Polish, you probably need an advisor that is fluent in English. But there are plenty of professional advisors throughout Europe, and particularly in Poland, who meet that category. There are also a number of international networks of all the different professions. And you should be able to be given good contacts in Poland through networks talking to your own professional advisors in Scotland. I suppose the legal situation is the one that I do know best. In my firm, Anderson Strathern, which is based in Glasgow and Edinburgh, we're a member of the Association of European Lawyers, as I think Robert referred to, which is a network of firms throughout Europe. And in Poland, the member firm is WKB Warczynski Kowinski Bar, if I pronounced it correctly. And they're based in Warsaw and Poznan. We meet with our colleagues in member firms, and so are able to offer practical help in explaining what clients are trying to achieve based on their experiences in their own jurisdiction, so that the local firm, local advisors can try to explain what the differences are going to be and achieve the same commercial result. And I have no doubt that the same is true with property advisors, with accountants. There are these opportunities there. When dealing with business abroad, this usually entails an understanding of the types of corporate entities normal in the jurisdiction. And I've referred to this in passing earlier. And the other thing that you need to understand are typical commercial contracts. Things that are normal in one country are not necessarily normal in another. To take an example, the level at which architects cover indemnity insurance in one country may be completely different from that in another country, depending on how mature the insurance market is. But substantive law, as it affects any trade, will vary. But when you're dealing with a European Union member, the general principles should be the same, and on the whole are, because the directives have direct effect. So that does help and gives you a good basis. Key areas to watch from the legal implication is what law is going to govern your relationship in entering into a contract. And separate but related, what it is the dispute resolution procedure that you're going to adopt. Do you want to agree at the outset, A, that the procedure should be in English, which you probably manage to get agreement to, but you might have to agree that the jurisdiction is within a process in the country that you're operating in. So you need to understand what that would mean. If you're going to have a dispute and a proof, then you're going to have witnesses and people go to wherever that dispute's going to be heard. Now, clearly no solution on these points is equally advantageous to both parties. So it's important to understand how the mechanism would work in practice, since some are more developed than others and the costs can vary significantly. Poland has had to refine its systems, because what you've found throughout Eastern Europe is that the Soviet Union was not particularly respected of private industry. So therefore, some countries had to almost create a system from start, and that was certainly the case in the Baltic countries. But countries with long traditions have not found this difficult. And Poland certainly has a very developed legal system now, which businesses can rely upon. One point just to make in passing, and it's not really on legal implication. As we know, many Poles came to this country and have done so in various ways over the years. They tend to integrate into society, which in turn should give some comfort in doing business in their country. The historical relationship in more modern times is probably epitomized with Wojtek. The story, it's not a story, it's a true fact, about a soldier bear who fought with the Polish army and then the Allied troops at Monte Cassino. And as a corporal in the Polish army, returned to Scotland and retired. Edinburgh will hopefully have a memorial, and the minister referred to that this morning. And I understand that there may be a feature film being planned. But all of these things help bind two peoples, and they should assist and be beneficial to business. The opportunities for working together are immense. Others have and will speak about these opportunities. One further statistic, though. Last year, a Better Life initiative of the OECD compared life in Poland to other OECD countries and major economies. Poland was near the top performer on education and skills, as well as personal security. It was below average for health status, work-life balance, jobs and housing. Such attributes may well indicate an economy in which foreign investors can benefit and at the same time improve the lot of the Polish people. One last thought is that the higher education sector in both countries is strong and interested in collaboration. Industries can join such ventures to mutual advantage. Legal aspects need not be a barrier to this. So thank you very much, and hopefully you'll enjoy hearing about the regions.